everyone, and welcome to another PNY podcast. We're excited to get this one going. We have one of our very own from PNY. He is actually the field sales and engineering manager. His name is Willy Ortiz, and we're going to be covering RTX professional GPUs for AI and compute. So I'm excited. Like, I know the first episode we're like, we're gonna have guests, and here we are.
Exactly.
And I'm excited to like have an engineer on the podcast, be able to pick his brain about different things and everything like that.
Yeah, I know. I know Willie's been with the company for a while now. And again, he comes with so much knowledge to the field, whether it comes to NVIDIA and the different products they have, or just general knowledge all across the field of technology. So I think that we're actually really excited to have him on this podcast. So Willie, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, guys. Thank you for asking me. Actually, thank you for inviting me. Like I said, maybe I can share some knowledge that I had gained with 23 years at PNY as an engineer and sales manager. So
Jeez,
thank you for having me today.
23 years.
See, Willie, the first episode, I was all happy because like, oh, I've been here for over 6 years, and Jerome's like 2.5, and now you're 23. So you're really, and that's the exciting thing about this. We have the experience behind this, so we're excited to, again, have you on this episode, Willie. Yeah. So kind of to kick things off is, we have two architectures right now offered by NVIDIA. We have, Ampere, which was the latest generation, and then the latest and greatest is the NVIDIA Ada Lovelace architecture. So I guess from an engineering standpoint and kind of what you do, like, what has you excited about the latest Ada generation?
Well, the Ada is a great architecture, and what you're getting more because everybody wants to really do AI now. If you look everywhere, is AI and where we're heading, and everybody actually want to jump in the bandwagon and choose the right technology to develop in AI. And what you're getting with the Ada architecture is those tensor cores. Those tensor cores have been designed to do deep learning AI. And just to give you a quick history, right? 23 years. I was excited in 2018 when Jensen announced the RTX Turing architecture. That's when tensor cores came about. Dedicated for AI, was the first generation tensor cores. And since then, everything has increased and grown. NVIDIA gives you not only the technology, but the containers, the software, the API, the SDKs, to develop at any level. So for example, if the latest architecture, Ada, it has the 4th generation of tensor cores. So now the faster compute, the better training, you get more productivity out of it. But that's the hardware part. But Willie, how do I get to AI? I'm not a programmer, or maybe I want to get into it. NVIDIA has ngc.com, NVIDIA GPU Cloud, which is free. You can sign up for free. And within 30 minutes, download the container you want. You can do HPC, AI, depending on what you have. But once again, it's exciting times, and NVIDIA's on top of the technology, not only hardware-wise, but software-wise, to give you everything you need to start doing AI.
Yeah, and I think like Jerome and I, we kind of spoke about that a little bit too, about AI and kind of where it's going. And right now, I feel like that's like the hot topic on everything in the tech industry is AI.
Yeah, that's what we were saying again, as you said, like it's kind of like a AI renaissance in a way, where it's kind of like full circles. Because again, in the past, people used to talk about AI and the possibilities and what could be done and all these different things. And now that we're actually seeing them take place, it's actually really interesting to see where the world is going based off of this brand new technology in a way.
Yeah, it kind of leads into as well. Like today, we're like trying to do like a photo, or like we had a photo of a GPU with a background, and we told AI like put a hand there like someone's holding it, just to kind of test it and how accurate it is. It's fascinating, and again, it's just kind of just gonna push the envelope going forward.
Right.
But then Willie, kind of going. I know you went into specs and AI, so. From I guess like from regardless between Ada Lovelace and Ampere, like I know like on Ampere you used to be able to use like NVIDIA NVLink to where you can I know some people call SLI, but you can put 2 cards in, you can do some memory pooling, so you're doubling your memory. So like I guess coming from Ampere into the Ada Lovelace, which you can't do NVLink with it. Like, how do you see that affecting possibly like the users for both? And kind of again, I guess since we're on the subject of AI, like how does that play a part?
Well, there's different ways to do multi-GPU in a workstation environment and even in a server environment. So you can do AI, once again, in your local workstation, and maybe you want to do cloud AI. But how does NVLink come into play? So what people don't understand, when NVLink, the technology is there, but the applications need to be written to take care of advantage of that NVLink technology.
Right.
If they're not multi-threading, multi-piping, or written to take advantage of NVLink, they're really not going to see increasing performance.
Okay.
What you see more and more with applications are the multi-GPU aware that really don't need a NVLink because they've been written to work with multi-GPUs. So once again, NVLink is a great technology if your application can take advantage of it. But most of the applications are now written for multi-GPU awareness. So even if you don't have NVLink, you still can have the greatness of having multi-GPUs and having them used in multiple different parts of your work flow process.
Okay. And I guess so really kind of like a question we just kind of like came to my mind here. So, I mean, you mentioned you've been here for 23 years. So like you've seen a lot of products come through the NVIDIA pipeline. So I guess I always like to ask is kind of like almost like a fire drill, like, you know, which one do you think like had you the most excited? I know a lot of people usually say like the latest and greatest, of course, because it is the latest generation, but like all those launches and you seeing like the back end of, you know, the processing power, the PCB, like all the engineering aspect of it, like which one like had you excited? Like, you know, Ada's again the greatest, but like is there like one that like you just recall out of your 20 years experience of like, wow, this is a leap, you know, compared to previous generations?
Just to give you a quick history, I started when we had the Riva TNT PCI
Oh wow.
32-bit, not even AGP, it was PCI based. And then NVIDIA had purchased Voodoo, and that's what they used to call it Glide technology, and that became SLI, and then from SLI migrated to NVLink. But what have you seen is what we're getting as consumers or professionals in graphics and compute capabilities and design, because everybody wants to do things right away. Like right now, we're collaborating in this podcast, but how do professionals collaborate? Is in the technology that NVIDIA has developed. It's better graphics, real-time ray tracing, AI.
Yeah.
So what we consuming now is so realistic, right? And the workflow is much better. I mean, creators or artists, right? What they have in their head, they want to see in front of them in the screen. So NVIDIA has multiple ways to give you access to that productivity and creativity. One of the tools that is great, and just an example, is NVIDIA Omniverse. NVIDIA Omniverse is a platform, and one of the uses is where what happened during the pandemic, right? How we worked with Teams and Zoom, we were able to collaborate and train and brainstorm. But what about those people that created content, right? You know, video games, or like yourselves, you create a lot of digital assets. How do you collaborate? So Omniverse is great, right? It's cloud based, and for anybody at home that want to use it for home use, for free. You can download and play with it. But in a professional environment with Omniverse Creator, the nucleus, you can have your data, and now you can collaborate in Creator in a single monitor with different applications. 3ds Max, Maya, example. So the biggest pain that you guys seen is, how do I exchange files, right? You gotta get a file, bring it to your application, modify it, save it into the extension, give it back to your own, import it into his application, modifies it. So that kills the creative process. But imagine now you have Omniverse Creator, and you can use your applications that will link to this creator and modify what you have to of that scene. And now what happens to us, the professionals, you guys, the professionals, the ones that produce assets, digital or digital content creation, you're able to produce and collaborate together in a single scene and make the changes that you want to do to that scene and be more productive. And you guys know, I don't know about you, when I start working and I got that flow and creativity, and it's working nice, time flies, right?
Exactly.
It's productive.
That's a clever. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I was gonna say. I think that's something that me and Derek talked about, even on the first podcast, when it comes to collaboration, especially when it comes to the marketing aspect, where again, me and Derek were focused mainly on the marketing side of things, and where our goal in our jobs is to be social marketers in that sense to a degree, in where we do have to do a lot of collaboration, whether it comes to working with different partners or with different, say, for instance, influencers or something like that. There's a lot of collaboration that takes place in marketing all across the board. So in order to aid that, in order to help that, we need different things like the NVIDIA Omniverse Enterprise, and where people can collaborate not just on the marketing aspect of it, but on the creation aspect of it as well, and to be able to get that thought process flowing.
Yeah, and NVIDIA Omniverse too is like it's if you never used it, I definitely encourage you to go look into it and watch some video on it. And again, you can check out the PNY Pro YouTube channel. We have Omniverse content on there. And it's not even so much like, yeah, you and I, we're video, we're production, virtual production, all that. But even from a collaborative standpoint, if someone's in manufacturing, like Willy right now, we're talking to him. He's in California. We're here in New Jersey. We can have one scene and Willy can turn the RTX on and see how the ray tracing and how lighting's going to bounce off of certain materials and everything. To before, it's like, without that, it's kind of like, all right, the pain point of, I'm going to, save this file. I'm going to try to compress it. So a 50 gig file, just say compress it, save a few. Then you're like, maybe an hour or so, try to get up to some type of like share, software out there. We use SharePoint here, but like we've seen those pains here. So it's like, all right, Jerome, I started it. Can you finish it? But let me pack it, let me upload it, and then you download it. So like having that collaborative freedom is definitely, it's cool. And again, I think that's another step forward just from the creative aspect as well.
Yeah.
And what you see more and more, like if you look at Omniverse, which is the NVIDIA platform, and collaboration is just one of the many uses he has. He has a lot of features built in within the software itself, digital twins, and now you can, Earth 2.0 and simulate time, and how we see the changes on weather patterns, and now you can see where we are, and you can build a factory. And now there was a webinar today, and they actually implemented GPT on it, kind of like ChatGPT, where you can build a space in a warehouse and a reception area, and he gives you the tools in a library.
Crazy.
You got deep search when you look for office desk, and you have a whole library of apps that you can choose to. I mean, it's exciting times to be a creator, right? And brainstorm, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. You have Chat GPT, which is huge. You say, hey, give me a script on the video, and it's like, intro, cut scene, cut to this. Like it will get that granular with it and very detailed. And then now it's kind of like, all right, that's more of a text portion of it. But now it's like, make me a photo of something, and I want this, this, and that. And then within the matter of minutes, with all the compute power that's out there now, it's like we have something generated like that.
Yeah.
Where before, it's just like you would wait long periods of time.
Exactly.
And now it's like you kind of have like, I remember the internet is like you have everything at your fingertips, but now it's kind of like, even with AI being introduced into it and being plugged into web browsers and stuff, it just takes everything to the next level.
Yeah, it really does. Again, even I was talking to you earlier about just messing around with even like the Photoshop version of the AI generator and saying, again, generate a hand, generate a hat, generate this, and just messing around and seeing the different capabilities of stuff like this, where it comes to AI and being able to use it in your everyday use. Again, AI is getting big. It's huge. It's here right now. So it's learning the different ways to take advantage of it in different aspects.
And then, Will, I guess for you too, like again, going back to, I mean, we have a really big, like a stack of, product offerings in terms of GPUs from NVIDIA. I guess, where do you see, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. No, that's bound to happen.
Yeah,
but I see. I think I know your point. The good thing about the NVIDIA lineup stack is anybody can do AI now. It could be entry level. Any board that has an RTX in front of it gives you the real-time ray tracing, the tensor cores, and those CUDA cores for parallel processing. There's applications that might be written to take advantage of all those technologies, right?
Yeah.
But what about, you say, Willy, you know what? I'm a student and I want to start with AI. The new latest RTX 8000 low profile, or RTX 4008 architecture, which is the latest and greatest. Now the low profile, low power consumption, you can put in a small form factor desktop or ATX, but now you can start doing it. Anything like with NVIDIA, right? the movies that we see today, you see the realism, the content, it looks so
Mhm.
realistic because
Yeah.
it keeps on improving. But now regular end users like me, man, I don't work for a studio. I can create a movie with the visual effects because I'm using the same software packages that professionals use. My actors might not be as good as a Tom Cruise,
True.
Angelina Jolie.
True.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I guess where I was going with that too is again we have all these products, so like we touch so many different markets.
Mhm.
I mean, you have architecture, you have manufacturing, you have media entertainment. So again, over your 23 years of experience here at PNY, like I mean, those market growths you I mean have. I mean, changed dramatically probably from when like you first started till now. So like I think where do you see I guess with Ada Lovelace and even Ampere as an architecture like the advancements that you've seen with each new architecture GPU offering
Mhm.
within those markets.
What I've seen, and not just the technology is amazing, right? The content that can be created,
Yeah,
but it's how you can have a workflow, right? Because
yeah,
you can work in a data center, right, and connect through a middleware. Once again, Omniverse is its own platform, but there's other setups like for virtualization. Maybe you want to slice and dice those GPUs through a server environment, and once again, I'm gonna go back to the pandemic. A lot of people couldn't produce it. They needed to be physical there. They had the
Mhm.
workstation, collaborate. But now with technology and the platforms that we're getting, we can work from anywhere in the world and be productive, right?
Right.
yeah,
And that's exciting, right? It's one of
Mhm.
those things that uh, the technology, the softwares, and what stops you is your creativity, right? Because now data sets and you guys are content creators, they're getting bigger and bigger, right?
Mhm.
NVIDIA gives you faster GPU, faster technology, and you want to push the limits. Your file sizes are getting bigger. And that's how you're going to choose like a GPU, right? Because you have the technology. How big are the files you're working on,
yeah,
right?
Mm.
And like I said, now video cards, 48 gigabytes of memory, the RTX 6000 ADA, you can load a scene into GPU memory manipulator real time,
Mm.
right?
yeah.
So even on that same note, like, because again, we're talking about the different markets. I guess what are the key points for someone to keep in mind when it comes to picking out a GPU for their specific needs? What would you recommend for certain people in the different markets?
Well, it's very important. A lot of people sometimes they choose a GPU and they forget some information, right?
Hmm.
It's not just the GPU. You got to make sure that your computer, your platform can accommodate that GPU,
Hmm.
right? And also look at your software package, right? Is it CUDA based? Does it support tensor real-time ray tracing? I give you example. I do a lot of trainings, and there's three pieces of information I tell our customers that they need before choosing a GPU. First of all, system information, where you want to put that. Is that in a server environment, data center, in a local workstation? Is it a low profile system, a mini tower? Is it a workstation? Even a gaming system. Gamers build
Hmm.
systems that have beefy power supplies and
Yeah.
full ATX towers you like, but you can put a professional GPU indoor, it can accommodate in multiple, right? And you got to see my application, right? Look at go to the website and see which video cards to certify, the multi GPU aware, because you don't want to overspend or underspend, right?
Hmm.
That's why we
Yep.
have a stock where entry level boards are great performance. Look, those entry level boards really outperform previous
Hmm.
generations. So I call it entry level, but really the performance you're getting, and not only that, you get the RT cores, the Tensor cores. What are we doing right now? We are streaming, right?
Yep.
Mm.
Everybody has a YouTube channel, a
Yeah.
podcast.
Yep.
NVIDIA has the latest uh, transcoding capabilities, NVLink, right? You can decode, encode, and now people are servicing. I mean, I had a home user that say, I set up a server at home. I have a YouTube channel, and I have so many
Hmm.
people coming into my channel that he set up a server with a Tesla at the time to service those customers, right?
Wow.
Because
Wow.
they take advantage of the NVIDIA NVLink
Mm.
uh, um, technology. So when you look at the video card, look at yeah, of course, your Tensor cores, your RT cores, your CUDA cores, your OpenGL, DirectX, what you need. But also, if you're streaming, look at your platform. OSB, right? You guys probably use USB to
Mm-hmm.
broadcast, right? You can set
Yeah.
up that, and it takes advantage of the NVIDIA transcoding capabilities, NVLink. So
Yeah.
you got to keep that all in mind when you choose a GPU.
Yeah, and just to add to that too, like you and I, like we used to do, live streams and streams
Mm-hmm.
here to where like back in the day, I remember you'd have these big influencers having multiple PCs, one
Right.
specific for OBS and streaming,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had another one where they're gaming on or showing off their workflow, whatever. It's where
Mm-hmm.
now it's like with advancements within the architecture, the power, efficiency, and performance, it's like we're able to do that with just one PC, which is
Right.
great because like that's a big like workload. I mean, just
Mm-hmm.
like kind of Willie mentioned, kind of like that gamer in the sense that we're going to be streaming, but then also playing a game, and these AAA games is just like that's a
Yeah.
lot of processing power you need. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's definitely like the advancement there, and even then again, going back to our our virtual production, our studio, and everything that we're doing, we're taking that a step further to where it's just used to be on a green screen, but now it's like kind of all right, green screen, we'll fix it in post-production to what we want it to look like.
Mm-hmm.
But then now, going into Unreal Engine and seeing stuff in real time and, us again being actual users of the product and seeing it, not just only talking about it from an engineering perspective and also a marketing perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we get to, again, have that hands-on and we're using the product, it's
Yeah.
anybody can say
That's the
anything
best
about any
testimonial.
product.
You guys are the best testimonials, right?
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like a kid with a new toy, right? You give him the toy, you say, "Oh my God, I can do this and that,"
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that when your ideas come into fruition in front of you so smoothly and you being productive, it's joyful to do your job, right?
Yeah.
Because back in the day, like I said, I've been here 23 years, and I had a customer call. Listen, my employee, most of the time he's having coffee breaks. I say, "What's going on?" "I'm rendering."
Yeah.
So I
Mm-hmm.
bought it and
Right.
I bought him another PC. Well, I'm
Exactly.
rendering both of them. But now you put multi GPUs in there, you can render with one GPU, it's still being productive and creating in the same software package because they're multi GPU aware.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, like I tell everybody, time is money, right?
Yep.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Very true.
Yeah, and again for us, like that's huge. I mean,
Right.
if we can take our product or our project and then back that up and cut
Mhm.
even just the rendering time in half or like a
Yes.
quarter of it, essentially you take that just little quarter of time and expand it across a month,
Mm-hmm.
a year. It's like
Saves time.
yes,
That's
and then able to crank out more content and everything there.
Mhm.
So like that's definitely a huge thing in terms of us like we're creating content and marketing here at
Yeah.
PNY.
Yeah, definitely. And I know it's something that we've spoken on the first podcast when we were kind of just talking about our experiences with marketing. But again, we're kind of in this lucky place and we're kind of full circle content creation users in a sense, and where we're being able to market this product, but we're also being able to use it as well. And I think that's really important for our workflow from day to day. And also it's interesting to know what new products are coming out, what that lineup is looking like. And that, again, gets us more excited to be able to not just do our jobs, but to be able to enjoy it too.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Well,
Quick
yeah,
question, guys. Have you, when you render something, a video or something, and you transcode it, right? You remember that process? You got to service different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
That process could be painful too, right?
Yes.
Because it takes time to
Yes.
get your content and make sure it's decoded properly, transcoding, and like people that create and media and entertainment now. They're able to do that process faster now, process a frame, 76 frames. What used to take 120 hours, now it takes 3 hours, right? Because it's
Right.
getting faster. It's adopting that technology that NVIDIA has. And that's why you notice, I think I read something in some show that got announced, got pushed earlier. It was announced in March, and now because now they have the technology to able to shoot it and edit it and everything, because technology is getting faster, right? So we as the consumers watch the latest shows. I mean, I wish they had that when they had Game of Thrones, so I can watch it faster, right?
Right.
Yeah,
so
cranking
true.
out episodes just pop, pop, pop.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you don't have to wait weeks or days or whatever. So
Right. Yeah, especially at the pace that we do consume a lot of the media nowadays. It's kind of very short form and very fast paced. So again, the technology to be able to do this and to be able to help us expedite that process is just so important nowadays.
yeah. Yeah, like I said too. I mean, again, we're rendering out, one video, but that one video is for YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Oh wait, now we need a vertical one too. So like again, that extra, power, whatever, using the latest ADA, 6,000 ADA, like that again just plays a big part from a company perspective, and just like I said, time is money. So whatever we can cut off in production, that's just more time for us to be creative, and then also get more content out to our community.
Exactly.
And you know what would be great? It's having our audience to tell us what's painful for you today that you say, wow, this got to get better faster, right?
Yeah.
And that's a great feedback. What is technology has improved, but what would you like to see more to make you more productive? Because at the end of the day, productivity is what counts, right? And once again, the content we consume is so realistic, and the libraries are there, and then the applications are bringing all these real materials. I'm telling you, I seen a scene that I thought it was a video game. It could be used in a movie. It can be used for anything. It's so realistic, right? The real-time the ray tracing, the shadows, the reflection, the realism that before was only simulated. Now it can be do faster in real time, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's, I mean, again, a lot of information packed there, and I think that's a good segue then to call it. And Willy, we just want to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your 23 years experience, and kind of just to end on that is, let us know down in the comments, or like what would you like to learn more about? If there's something that we might have missed in this episode, we can always get Willy back on here. So let us know any feedback. We'd greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Willy, thank you so much again for joining us.
You're very welcome, guys. Thank you for having me. It's exciting to have this conversation. Like I said, you guys are really our customers too, because you use the product, right? You create content, and you know what's better, the pain you might have doing something, but when it gets improved, you can share that with our audience, and maybe they can share their workflows and what they need help with, and we're here to help, right? And when you talk to PNY, you're talking to NVIDIA. Once again, we have a direct connection there. We have connections to the developing engineers, director of engineers, and senior architects. And like I said, our experience on the GPU for 23 years since I've been in the company. Once again, we started with PCI, then AGP, and then PCI Express. And actually, you guys might be too young for this, but we have Windows 98, Windows ME.
Windows 98,
XP, right?
I was there at AOL. Mom, get off the phone, plug the cord in.
Exactly.
Awesome. Right. Well, again, thank you so much, Willy. And Jerome, I guess, where can everybody reach us on social media?
Reach us at PNY Pro on all of our social accounts. Again, that's Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. Follow us on YouTube as well. Subscribe to that. And then on Spotify, as well as Apple Music and SoundCloud as well.
Yeah. Well, again, Willy, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And we'll see you all in the next episode.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Thank you for having me.
All right. No problem.
All right. Take care.
Take care.